All right, I'm live. I think I'm live. I always hate this because there's no way to know if anybody can actually hear me if there's nobody there. So, all right, I am live on Facebook. My thing that I wanted to tell you about today was I went to my doctor today, and it's another just a regular checkup. Um, so it's for those of you who have no idea what my story is, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to a year and a half ago when the story with this doctor of mine begins, right? So a year and a half ago, as I would normally do, once a year, go to see the doctor. And he complains, but he tells me about the same thing he's been telling me for 10 years. You're overweight. Your blood's bad, and your cholesterol's bad, and triglycerides and quadriglycerides and whatever, all that stuff. Everything about my blood is bad, my weight is bad, like everything's bad. And he's been telling me that for a long. Hey, whoa, a lot of people here. Cool. Hey, what's up, guys? Um, all this stuff he's telling me is bad, right? So that's a year and a half ago. But he never tells me what to do about it. He just says it's all bad. But then he notices I have this like dry cough, like a weird dry hacking cough, like a weird cough. And he says, "What is that?" And I say, it's probably allergies, is what he tells me. I mean, I tell him, it's allergies. And he goes, okay. And he asks, looks at my nose and all that kind of stuff. And he says, no, open up your mouth. He looks in and he says, okay, hey, do you have, hey, look at all these people here. This is so cool. Hey, everybody. so, so this is a year and a half ago. He looks at my throat and he says, do you have acid reflux? Do you have heartburn? I'm like, yeah, dude, bad. I get that a lot. Acid reflux, or I said heartburn. He says, I got bad news for you. You have damage, like your throat is damaged. And he sends me off to a gastro guy for an endoscopy. And uh, the gastro guy tells me good news and bad news. Good news is that damage to your throat from the acid reflux is not permanent. It'll go away. It'll heal. You'll be good. And that was great news, right? But the bad news, he says, the bad news is that you have a stomach ulcer. And I look at him like, oh, damn, what do you mean? He says, you have a live bleeding stomach ulcer. Aren't you in pain? And I'm like, no, nope. He goes, well, your stomach is bleeding and you have to fix that. That's bad. That can cause cancer. That can kill you. An ulcer can kill you. You need to change that now. And he gives a list of things that I can't do and I can't eat. He gives it to Leanne and I and says, go and fix this. Do what I'm telling you. No eating don't eat anything is what he says. And behave this way. Like, oh my God, but I really got an ulcer. That's bad. So a lot of you know this part of the story already. So we don't know what to do. Now I'm in trouble. Now I have a real health scare. And thank God that Leanne says, go talk to your friend Robert right now, because Robert and his wife Holly had been on some sort of a program. They're losing weight and all this stuff goes on. And we get inspired, we meet with them, and we go on the program. Now, that's not the point of this. I'm going to get to what the doctor told me today, which was mind blowing. But I need you to know the backstory. So, a year and a half ago, I'm sick. I have an ulcer. All these things are wrong. Um, our friends Robert and Holly introduced us to this nutritional program. That all they know at the time is that you'll feel good, and a byproduct of good nutrition is weight loss or weight management, because you can gain weight as well. Okay, 3 months. First of all, 3 days later, we knew something was up. This stuff was good. 3 months later, I go back to the gastro guy, and he says, "Your stomach ulcer is gone. You're healed. That medicine I gave you must have been great." And Leanne laughs and says he didn't take the medicine. But we went on great nutrition. I did everything you said. I didn't eat this, that, and the other thing. I behaved properly, ate properly, and for the first time, probably in my life, I'm putting good nutrition into my body. And then my body heals the stomach ulcer. All right, so that's a year and a half ago, then 3 months later. 6 months after all that, I go to the doctor. Am I saying this right? No, I'm not. A year Yes, that's right. A year after I started, a year after the ulcer, I go back and I have all my blood work done again, right? I go to my regular doctor, get the blood work done. I need to compare the blood work from the day he told me I have acid reflux to a year later. So it's September of 2015 to November of 2016. It's a little over a year. And he looks at me, he's like, oh my God, in a year I had lost 75 pounds. I feel completely different. I look, yeah, hey, thumbs up. I see those thumbs going up. 75 pounds, people. In that same year, by the way, Leanne lost 70 pounds. Give her even more thumbs up. Like, that's fantastic. She loses so much weight. So all this stuff is all good. Now, but I need to know the the blood. Am I healthy now? Like, what's the story? I feel good. I know I feel good. I know that I lost weight, which it just in and of itself, not being obese changes everything. Everything in my blood work was better, right? So I can't even pronounce them all, but the cholesterol was now normal and the triglycerides are normal and all that stuff that makes blood bad is now good, right? Everything. 1 year later. And he says to me, this is incredible. He says, you're actually one of our better 55-year-olds here at the practice. Like I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Keep up the good work because you're looking good, and I'm very, very impressed. Right. Sorry, let me look at my notes here, right? That was a year afterwards. So now it's a year and a half afterwards, and I go back because it's just 6 months later, and he what are you here for? Dude, you told me to come back in 6 months. I'm here. I'm 6 months later. I'm here again. So now it's a year and a half since I learned I have an ulcer, and 6 months since he told me that my blood is really good. This is what happens today. It blows my mind. So first, he as soon as he walks into the little room there, he's like, "Holy cow! Like you look great." And I'm thinking, like, you told me that 6 months ago, right? You told me 6 months ago I look good, but I guess now I exercise a little bit too, right? So maybe I look even better. I don't know. Maybe 6 more months of good nutrition and you just plain look even better than you did 6 months ago. I don't know, but that's what he says to me. You look great. And we go over just all the normal stuff that he asks you during a routine checkup, and all's good, right? Everything's great. This is what he tells me. So he starts to tell me this story about his dad and how he asked his dad if he asked his dad to come into the office and talk to two of his patients. These two patients of my doctors, two other patients, older than me apparently, refused to go for colonoscopies. Right? So these two patients of my doctors won't go for the colonoscopy. So he asks his father to come in and talk to these two guys. This is what he says, right? So his dad also would not have a colonoscopy, right? The guy's son is, hey Linda, the guy's son is a doctor. Doctor says go get a colonoscopy. He says no, I don't want a colonoscopy. Now these two patients come in. He brings his dad in. Dad says to these patients, apparently separately, but told them both, you need to get a colonoscopy. He's not kidding. I refused to get a colonoscopy, and when I finally got a colonoscopy, they found a polyp the size of a grapefruit. And I was like, are you serious? Like, how do you even fit a polyp? Like, that's insane. So the dad's story is like, listen, if I had gone when he told me, that polyp could have been just zipped out and gone, could have been removed, during the colonoscopy. Instead, you didn't get it checked, and now it's a growth. Thank God there was nothing really seriously wrong. It was something that they could remove, but it had to be surgically removed. Now it's surgery with recovery, with everything. And I'm going, oh, that's a cool story. Okay, great. He says to me the following things. Doctors are like parents. Unless they hear it from somebody else, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. When I talk to my patients, it's like I like their parent and they're getting scolded. He says that's what the relationship is like sometimes. He also said that he knows that everybody thinks that all the doctors are in cahoots with each other, that they all just send each other for these tests that are unnecessary and they don't need any of this stuff, and they're all making money on us. He says, but that's not really what it's about. It is about making sure that everybody gets taken care of. And you need colonoscopies. You need these things. You need these things done. So I'm still like, okay, I get it. I understand. And I'm like, no, I probably am exactly the same way. But this is what he says to me. Would you talk to my patients about the situation you are in? And I'm looking at him like, what do you mean? He says, how long did I tell you that your health was bad? How long did I tell you that you need to get healthy? How long did I tell you that your cholesterol was high and all these things? You're going to end up diabetic and you're going to need medicine. And how long did I tell you that? And I said, dude, 10 years. And if it wasn't for an ulcer, I wouldn't have done anything about it. But now my story is a good story, right? So it changes and I get healthy and I feel good and I don't have acid reflux and I don't have stomach ulcer and I'm not obese. All those things are fixed. All those things are good. I'm a real person in his practice. And if he could get real people to talk to his people about my real results, he'd be interested in that. My mind is blown. Is my doctor asking me to help his patients? Like, my mind was blown today. I couldn't believe what he was saying. And I said to him, Doc, that's incredible because I have been helping people. I said, it's part of what I do now. I said, I've been doing these weddings, right, for 30 years, and now health and wellness, which is so foreign to me, is something that I do regularly now. I help people. And I told him how good that makes me feel. But my mind was blown. Now, then I say to him, so this is, okay, that's basically what occurred that blew my mind. But then I'm in this office and I see a sign for, 70% of Americans are overweight and this amount are obese. And he's got some system on the wall, a poster on the wall for bio crap. Join this system, bio crap. Now, I didn't make that up. It was I don't know, bio something. But I said, well, what is that? What is that you're selling there? And he goes, oh, and he goes to tear the poster off. He goes, it's crap. It's chemicals. It's this. It's that. So one of the other doctors in the office put that up there, and I don't believe in it. And I'm starting to laugh to myself because I start to tell him about our system. It's food. It's actual food with real protein, and I'm telling him the whole thing. His eyes are lighting up, but then admits something to me. In all his years in medical school, how much time was spent on nutrition? Now, mind you, I had heard this before, not quite this statistic, but he says, how much time? He said, 2 weeks. All the years of medical school, 2 weeks on nutrition. He says, if I didn't read my own books afterwards, because I personally was curious, I'd know nothing about it. Doctors diagnose and treat. They really don't do anything to prevent. And if somebody like me can help his patients prevent, he was interested. So he said to me, he gave me a book that he wanted me to read. It was called Food is the Real Medicine. He says, I want you to read this book because if you read this book, and it's in layman's terms, but you're going to need to read it twice. If you read this book, Food is the Real Medicine, you'll have a real good understanding of why nutrition can fix so much, why nutrition in your body can help the body help itself. And he goes, you read that book, you have a even deeper understanding of why food, real nutrition, and good nutrition can help your body. I am going to ask you, hey, Colleen, Gil, what's up, Gil? If I read that book and understand that, he will ask me to help his other patients. 1.5 years ago, I'm a fat fart, eating bonbons, pizza, doing everything wrong with no solutions whatsoever. I have insomnia. I have no energy. I live this horrible, horrible, unhealthy life. 1.5 years later, my doctor is asking for help because I've succeeded so much. That's crazy, people. That's crazy. So why am I telling you this? My mind was blown. If you're listening to me and you were me a year and a half ago and you were unhealthy and had no idea what to do, I'm just telling you, I have solutions for you. Now, go get a colonoscopy. Go do whatever the doctor tells you and visit them regularly. That has to happen. Colleen, I love pizza. Don't get me wrong, Colleen. I love pizza. And now that I'm healthy, I can still have pizza. I still eat regular meals. We still go out. I still have cold beer when I want cold beer. But it took me a long time to get to that point where I knew I was healthy. Right? You had to get there first. I did not want diabetes. I had to, for me, I had to get the weight down. I had to. Not everybody on our program is doing it for weight. There's a lot of people who are just doing it for energy. There's a lot of people who are just, you get older. You just don't feel right when you get older. People who are just doing it for the energy. But I did not want to become diabetic. I needed to fix that. Sam Adams, Gil, all the way. Definitely. Oktoberfest, winter lager. So don't get me wrong. I love the same things that everybody else loves, and that hasn't changed. But when I got into the ability to control my diet, my intake, I figured out how to run a healthy lifestyle. When I got to that point that I was able to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Oh, there's one other thing that I forgot, by the way. When my doctor walked in the office today, when he saw me, he admitted later he was positive I'd have put all the weight back. He was positive. He says, you don't know how many patients of mine go on some crazy fad diet, lose weight, and cannot maintain it. He says that's what the biggest problem is, because it's with fad diets. You start them, they end, you can't control it, you can't sustain it, you can't maintain it. That to me was the secret, is that the lifestyle that Leanne and I have is maintainable. Because not only Lou, eShots, the Ionics, Lou knows the product line. It is a phenomenal lifestyle, but you live that lifestyle, guess what? Now you can have a cold beer on Friday or Saturday night. You can have the pizza, Colleen, you can have the pizza, but you have to get things under control first. If you're unhealthy, you have to get healthy, and then it's all controllable. So that is what my doctor told me today. That is the craziest thing I've heard in all 56 of my years that I've ever heard. My doctor asking me for help. That's insane. So, hey, listen, I know this will play again. Hey, Debbie, what's up? Get your husband to watch this. Ladies, men, we're stubborn sons of bitches, we men. We are stubborn. We do not listen. Men, listen to other men. All right? I'm a dude who is as stubborn as anybody else, who lived that unhealthy lifestyle for so long. You want your man to get healthy, and you want him to talk to another man who was unhealthy? I'll talk to them. I'll talk to the dudes. Now, I'm sure some of the ladies are just as stubborn, but I'll never admit that. But so I'm just saying, I'm giving you all a peace out. That's what my doctor told me today. That was the craziest thing that ever happened in my life. If you're watching this later on, cool, peace. I'm here to help. We have built a really cool team of people who are getting healthy. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This was one of the coolest live things I've ever done. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. See you, Lou. Oh, and prostate. Yeah, you're right. He asked me about my prostate, too. He asked me when was the last time I had my prostate exam, which I didn't remember. But he looked it up. We're all good there. Do what the doctors say, even if they don't know nutrition, because now I'm getting to know the nutrition. Call Leanne if you'd rather talk to a woman. Call me if you'd rather talk to a man. Peace out, people. Thank you.